You're listening to an African Elements top news story for April 4th, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. U.S. Africa Command, Troop Withdrawal Affects Sahel and Somalia by Darius Spearman. The security situation across Africa, particularly in the Sahel region, is deeply concerning. U.S. Africa Command leadership has sounded the alarm about the consequences of pulling troops out. General Michael Langley, AFRICOM's commander, plainly stated that areas like the Sahel have become less safe following recent military withdrawals. This warning carries significant weight for communities across the continent facing daily threats. The vacuum left by departing forces appears to be fueling instability. Extremist groups, including JNIM, ISIS affiliates, and Boko Haram, are reportedly expanding their activities. General Langley specifically noted these groups pose a growing threat to coastal West African nations, areas previously considered more stable. Furthermore, the challenges are compounded by weak governance in some nations and disinformation campaigns often linked to Russian interests, creating a volatile mix that allows extremism to fester. This unstable environment directly impacts the lives and safety of people living in these regions. The landscape of U.S. military presence in Africa experienced significant changes in 2024. Over 1,000 American troops were withdrawn from Niger, a major hub for regional counterterrorism operations. This departure marked a considerable shift as the U.S. had invested heavily in facilities like Airbase 201 near Agadez. Similarly, about 75 U.S. personnel left Chad, another key partner nation. These withdrawals occurred despite stated U.S. goals of maintaining counterterrorism partnerships across the continent. The process involved complex logistics, including the closure of major installations like Niger's Airbase 201 and Airbase 101 in Niamey. Consequently, the AFRICOM coordination element based there fully departed, signaling an end to a specific era of engagement. While troops have departed from parts of the Sahel, the U.S. maintains a notable military footprint in Somalia. Approximately 500 U.S. personnel remain stationed there, actively engaged in counterterrorism operations. Their mission involves supporting Somali National Army forces and African Union troops in their fight against extremist groups like Al-Shabaab and ISIS Somalia. This continued presence includes conducting airstrikes and providing crucial intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. Recent operations underscore this ongoing commitment. Therefore, Somalia remains a critical front where the U.S. is actively working with local partners to combat violent extremism, presenting a contrast to the withdrawal strategy seen elsewhere. Maintaining effective counterterrorism partnerships in Africa presents complex strategic challenges for the United States. One major hurdle involves aligning U.S. security goals with African governments, particularly juntas, that are increasingly pursuing partnerships with Russia. Past U.S. approaches have also faced criticism. Some analyses suggest missteps included prioritizing specific tactical training, like urban raids, over more holistic strategies that address the root causes of instability. Moreover, inconsistent messaging regarding human rights concerns has sometimes complicated relationships with partner nations. Navigating these diplomatic and strategic difficulties is crucial for future counterterrorism efforts on the continent. The differing approaches in Somalia and the Sahel highlight a critical debate about U.S. counterterrorism strategy in Africa. In Somalia, the continued U.S. presence, supporting local and regional forces, correlates with reported operational successes against Al-Shabaab. This sustained engagement involves direct action and capacity building, seemingly yielding tangible results in degrading extremist capabilities. Conversely, the withdrawal of U.S. and other Western forces from key Sahelian nations coincides with warnings of increased instability and expanding extremist influence. This contrast underscores the potential risks associated with troop withdrawals, particularly when underlying issues like weak governance and external malign influence are not adequately addressed. Ultimately, the divergent outcomes emphasize the complex calculations involved in deciding where and how to deploy military resources in the fight against terrorism. Copyright African Elements.